I'm sure most of you are familiar with what chaser convergence is, but just in case you're not, chaser convergence is when a whole bunch of storm chasers flock to the same target or same storm, and it can make storm chasing a lot more difficult. It can slow down traffic, it can make navigating around supercells quite difficult, it can make repositioning quite difficult. And chaser convergence has really grown exponentially in the last several years. Even on the more marginal days, you'll see quite a few chasers out there. And it definitely wasn't that way back 10, 15 years ago. But with the advent of better technology, social media, live streaming, etc., storm chasing is more popular than ever, and chaser convergence has become an even more common topic of conversation in the past several years. Now, there are several factors that exacerbate chaser convergence. Number one is higher risk days. If the SPC issues an enhanced risk, a moderate, or a high risk, those are typically going to be the days where chaser convergence is going to be at a maximum. In a similar vein, if the event has been synoptically evident and well advertised for several days ahead of time, meaning that it's a big storm system, we can see it on the models well ahead of time, and the major forecasting entities like the Storm Prediction Center have highlighted risks for several days ahead of time, hinting at a potentially significant event, that's going to drum up a lot of interest from chasers, and chaser convergence is likely going to be high in those events. Events that occur in peak season, April, May, June, particularly in May, which is when most chasers who don't live in the plains take their chasecations, their chase vacations out to come out here for a week or two. May also coincides with the end of the school year in most places, so your chasers who are in high school or college are going to have a lot of free time starting in May. Also, events that occur on the weekend. Since people are out of work, they'll have more time to chase. If the target is confined to a very small area, that means a lot of chasers are going to be confined to that area as well. And similarly, if there are only one or two possible target storms, if there's only one game in town, everybody and their mother is going to be on that particular storm. And finally, when road options are limited. If there's only one road near a supercell, that means everybody and their mother is going to be on that same road, and it's going to make things a lot worse as far as chaser convergence goes. Chaser convergence has become an ingredient you must consider when making a storm chase target, just like instability or wind shear. It's just something we have to deal with these days. But there are some tips that you can use to alleviate some of the hassle associated with chaser convergence. One thing you can do is consider secondary targets. A secondary target is a target area that may not have the most volatile environment, still robust enough to support severe weather, but because it's not the most volatile environment of the day, less chasers will flock to that area, meaning that chaser convergence is often less in these secondary targets. Now again, the trade-off is that you're not going to be in the highest ceiling environment where the most robust severe weather may occur, but choosing a secondary target can alleviate some of the hassle that comes along with chaser convergence. And sometimes secondary targets work out better than main targets as far as chasing quality goes. Now, I personally like to chase the highest ceiling target, so I don't often go for secondary targets. And if you're like me and you often find yourself on storms or in target areas that have ample chaser convergence, the following tips should help you. Perhaps the most important is be proactive. If you're looking to reposition in front of a storm, always leave a few minutes before you think you need to leave. Be cognizant of how chaser traffic may impact your repositioning, your escape routes, etc. Many other chasers are likely using the same routes and escape routes as you. Oftentimes it might take a minute or two to just pull out into the flow of traffic. Maybe you come upon a stop sign and traffic's backed up for quite a ways. That can add several minutes on to your travel time. So if you're looking to reposition, always leave your spot a few minutes before you think you need to leave. And on that same note, if you're using, say, Google Maps to find directions to your next intercept point, always add several minutes of buffer to those drive times. If it spits out a drive time of 25 minutes, plan for 30 or 35. But being proactive overall is best. If you see an opportunity to reposition when the storm is perhaps cycling, do it right then and there. Even if you think you can hang in there a few minutes longer, add on those few extra minutes, and you'll be in a much better position to get to your spot in time than everybody else.
The Chaser Academy is the best deal in storm chasing, and it costs less than a combo meal at McDonald's. Unlock instant access to exclusive storm chasing presentations, participate in live group coaching sessions, and get answers to all of your questions in the unlimited Q&A chat. Whether you're a beginner, a veteran, or somewhere in between, our expert coaches will help you take your storm chasing experience to the next level. Click the join button below this video or on our profile page and enroll in the Chaser Academy right now.
When repositioning, try to take routes that you think might be less traveled by chasers. Let me give you an example to show you what I mean. Back on May 6th, 2024, I was chasing this tornado-warned supercell in north central Oklahoma. This day was a big Storm Prediction Center high risk that had been well advertised for several days ahead of time. So it kind of checked all of those boxes for maximized chaser convergence. High risk day in May, peak season, in Oklahoma, one of the traditional storm chasing areas. So storm chaser convergence was extremely high on this day. So we were just north of the town of Clio Springs watching this tornado-warned supercell come at us, and we knew we needed to reposition to stay with the storm. This storm was moving from southwest to northeast. Given this storm motion and given what we were seeing from the chasers around us, it seemed like most folks were going to take this road north out of Clio Springs, then go east toward Helena to keep up with it. So what we did is we decided to go south through Clio Springs, then east toward Ringwood, and then back up. It added a few minutes on to our drive time, but we thought it would be the less traveled route by chasers. And so that's what we did. And we were actually able to minimize chaser convergence by taking this route when repositioning. Yes, it kept us a little bit farther away from the storm in the short term, but based on what the storm was looking like, it did not appear that tornadogenesis was imminent. So we knew we had a little bit of time to work with, and that we'd be well downstream in a good position, not having to battle as much chaser convergence before the storm's next possible cycle toward tornadogenesis. And we ended up getting in great position as the storm crossed just to the south of Helena and produced a brief tornado right in front of us. In my experience, there tends to be less chaser convergence extremely close to the mesocyclone or tornado of a supercell, and quite far from the storm, several miles or so away, which gives you an excellent view of the storm's structure. Chaser convergence tends to be maximized in the middle, so if you're looking to avoid chaser convergence, perhaps one of these two areas may suit you best. Now that does not mean you should just willy-nilly drive up close to tornadic supercells. If you're going to get up close, you need to have an excellent understanding of storm behaviors and storm structure. But it is perhaps an area that you can avoid some of the heaviest chaser convergence, along with the area that's quite far removed from the storm. Avoiding getting stuck in that middle ground 2, 3, 4 miles away from the storm is at least something to think about.
Remember to check out those links in the description below, and then watch another video.